And one of the biggest shifts that entrepreneurs need to make is letting go of control. We all feel like we have to do everything because no one else is going to do it as well as us. Well, Dan Martell says 80%, having someone do 80% of something else is 100% awesome. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Having someone do something else for you 80% of the way is 100% awesome.
Welcome to the Physicians and Properties Podcast, the show where we teach you how investing in real estate can give you the freedom to practice medicine and live life how you want.
Doctor!
Now, here's your host, Dr. Alex Schloe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another captivating episode of the Physicians and Properties Podcast with your host, Dr. Alex Schloe. Today, I am bringing you some game-changing insights straight from the Action Academy retreat in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. This event was packed with high-level discussions on wealth, business, and personal growth, and I was so fortunate to be able to share this experience with my wife. And I can't wait to share the most powerful takeaways that will help you build financial freedom through real estate and entrepreneurship. This episode is for any physician or professional looking to take control of their finances, escape the grind of the clinic or the hospital, and create a life by design. We're going to cover 7 segments, 7 key takeaways that I took from this mastermind retreat. We're going to cover everything from wealth mindset shifts, scaling businesses, overcoming imposter syndrome, hiring strategies, and the financial math behind your dream life. This is going to be a masterclass on financial freedom, so grab a notebook because you'll want to take some notes. Let's dive in. One of the biggest themes of the retreat was creating an economic wake. What this is the ripple effect your investments and business create in the world. This idea struck a chord with me because as physicians, we're naturally focused on impact, but too often we hold ourselves back when it comes to building wealth. We shouldn't. Wealth, money, that magnifies who you are. So bad people will figure out a way to make money and they'll stay bad. Good people who figure out how to make money will do more good things in the world. So don't fear making epic amounts of money. Instead, embrace wealth as a tool to do incredible things for your family, for your community, and the world. Your investment strategy should extend beyond your own financial success to create jobs, opportunities, and long-term value for others. Think of wakeboarding behind a boat. Think about that wake as that comes out from behind the boat. That's what we're talking about, that wake, that ripple effect that will go out and touch everything as it spreads. I was sitting there on the last night of the Action Academy retreat. We had this epic dance party that Brian Lubin was DJing, and it was absolutely incredible right on the water in Punta Cana. And I was looking out over the 100 or so Action Academy members that were there, and I was thinking about the impact. I was thinking about the wake. Think about the economic wake that's going to be generated from those 100 Action Academy members, all the lives that they're going to touch, all the people that they're going to impact along the way. A lot of them have communities like I do. A lot of them have podcasts like I do. So the number of people is just going to be absolutely incredible. So think about it. How many lives could you impact if you grew a real estate portfolio that employed dozens of people? Or if you started a business providing housing, care, or services for those in need? Ask yourself, how can I make my financial success? How can I make my wealth a force for good? Brian Lubin shared an amazing framework for taking control of your life, for how you can become the CEO of your life and business. He breaks this down into 4 steps. 1, create the vision. As a CEO, you have to create the vision, and you need to know exactly what your business to look like, but you also need to know what your ideal life should look like. And that vision should be so large that you're able to take people with you. You're able to have your employees buy into your vision and come with you on the journey. It's going to be an incredible journey. Build the team. So number 2 is build your team. Surround yourself with people who support and challenge you. Being a CEO, it's also really important to allocate resources. Your time, your energy, and your capital should align with your vision. The most valuable thing to a CEO is their time. So you have to be able and understand that you have to delegate, that you have to strategize, that you have to align with people who will build you up. The CEO has to do that. Also optimize and energize. So protect your time. Stay laser focused on those high impact activities. Be focused on what's going to move the needle forward for your business. Another huge takeaway is you don't need 5 businesses. You just need one exceptional business. There's no point to spread yourself too thin. Instead, go deep, not wide. Master one investment strategy before you branch out into others. I'm not saying don't, try different strategies to figure out what you like. That's totally fine. But once you find the one, like for me, residential assisted living, I'm focused solely on residential assisted living. I do have some shiny object syndrome. I'm trying to reel that in because something I see often is people try to buy single family homes and then some short-term rentals and commercial properties and assisted living all at once. But the reality is you should master one asset class before diversifying. It is important to diversify your portfolio, but that can come later down the road. So if you're in real estate, that means becoming an expert in your niche. Whether it's residential assisted living, multifamily, or short-term rentals, once you build something exceptional, then think about scaling. Then think about diversifying your portfolio. The next segment, we talked about the hero's journey and overcoming imposter syndrome. As a physician, you absolutely know about imposter syndrome. And there's also imposter syndrome in business as well that we all struggle with. One of the most powerful insights throughout this discussion was about the hero's journey and how often we resist stepping into our next level of success. When you're on that hero's journey, when you have that call to adventure, that call to more, that call to build your business or buy that real estate deal, the moment you think I'm not ready is the moment you are actually ready. Imposter syndrome is real, but the only way to get through it, to overcome it, is action. You have to shift from imposter to improver. Instead of doubting yourself, ask, how can I improve? How can I get 1% better today? And surround yourself with high achievers. Their mindset, their habits, that will pull you up. That'll help shift you from that imposter to improver. You'll see that everyone in business and in real estate has already gone through the problem or the troubles that you've gone. So if you surround yourself with people who have already accomplished this, they'll pull you up and they'll show you how to solve that problem. So if you're hesitating on your first deal or your next investment or a big life change, this is your sign to step up and take action. Let's talk a little bit about dollars behind your dream life and what Brian calls the V3 framework. A big focus at the retreat was reverse engineering your dream life, figuring out how much does it really cost you to live the life you want. Instead of setting vague financial goals, break it down. Figure out what your vision is. And this is where you're going to define your dream life detail. And I'm talking in extreme detail. Do you want to have a $5 million house on the beach and a house in the mountains and a nanny and a chef? Or does that look different for you? Maybe that's just a small cabin in the woods that you want. Figure out to the T what you want your life to look like, and you can achieve that. But don't be afraid to expand your vision. You also need to know value. You need to calculate exactly what it costs to fund that vision. And you need to know the vehicle. So vision, value, and vehicle. And the vehicle is going to be building the investments in the businesses that will finance that vision. So here's an example. Let's say your dream life includes living in a beautiful home near the mountains, traveling 6 weeks a year, working only because you want to, not because you have to, having time to be with your family, traveling internationally for 6 weeks out of the year, and skiing for 30 days out of the year. Once you figure out what that vision is, then you can reverse engineer and calculate how much that life will actually cost you. How much income will you need to generate to live that life? The mistake that people make is they chase these random financial goals without tying them to a vision, without focusing on the vision, without looking back on your vision and your goals. You won't be able to see if you're on track or not. So this is really important. Once you figured that out, once you figured out the V3 framework, the vision, the value, and the vehicle, then take some time to go into ChatGPT and prompt ChatGPT to help you create that dream life. Ask ChatGPT to reverse engineer the amount of income that you would need to produce to have that $3 million house in Colorado, to travel 6 weeks out of a year and stay at a nice hotel that costs $400 a night. Put in as much detail as you possibly can and have ChatGPT help you figure out your dream life. You may be surprised to see that the income that you need to create your dream life is less than you actually thought, or you may already be closer to that than you can imagine. At least, even if not, you'll know a number, you'll know a goal, you'll have something to focus on. And then you can take that to the next level and have ChatGPT create a phone cover image with multiple images of your dream life that you can set as the background of your phone. So you can look at that and you can be reminded of that vision every time you look at your phone, which is a lot of times during the day. Ben Call had an incredible talk where he was talking about scaling to $100 million. And he shared some really powerful insights that he's used to scale his business to massive success. Success compounds over decades. So play the long game. Most importantly, be a good person. Follow through. Go the extra mile. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. That's going to be so important. You're going to want to build a core team. You'll have the founders, the managing partners, the operating managers, your VA teams, and you're going to want to align with the right partner. Partnership can be rocket fuel for growth. It can help you grow your business so much faster than you could ever imagine and reach new levels that you couldn't alone. However, misaligned partnerships will kill business faster than anything else. You need to make sure that as a partnership that you guys share that same vision, not just the vision today, but the vision in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You have to figure out what is the exit plan for your business. Are you guys on the same page about when you want to sell? What are the goals? Is that cash flow? Is that appreciation? Is that buying a small business and adding value and having a big exit? Figure out what that exit plan is so you know ahead of time and talk about all these things. And most importantly, have them in your operating agreement. You have to spend time on an operating agreement. Partnership is like a marriage, but unlike a marriage, this is where you need to prepare first for the divorce. You need to set yourself up before you align in that partnership. You have to set yourself up to understand what if something bad happens, okay? And alignment is going to be the most important thing with partnerships. One closing thought that Ben had is that the biggest mistake that a small business owner can make is thinking too small. So if you're building a real estate portfolio, start thinking like a CEO now. This is a business. Stop thinking about just an investor or just an operator. Cody Barton came and spoke with us as well about scaling your business, about hiring, delegation, a lot about business culture. And one of the biggest shifts that entrepreneurs need to make is letting go of control. We all feel like we have to do everything because no one else is going to do it as well as us. Well, Dan Martell says 80%, having someone do 80% of something else is 100% awesome. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Having someone do something else for you 80% of the way is 100% awesome. So you want to hire for culture in your business and train for skill. 80% of hiring is hiring for culture. 20% is for skill. You can train skill, but you can't turn this person into a good person. You can't redirect them to align with your vision if they don't from the beginning. So hire for culture and train for skill. Also, as the CEO, you can't keep being bombarded with problems. So try using the 1-3-1 rule. So if an employee brings you a problem, so if an employee brings you one problem, they should also bring you 3 solutions and 1 recommendation. Don't take all the monkeys on your back. You can't do that as the CEO. Then you would just be working in the business. And if you're always solving problems for your team, you're the bottleneck. They are going to think that you don't trust them, and you're not going to empower them to think like problem solvers. You need to empower them to think like problem solvers, to use that 1-3-1 rule. This is the only way that you're going to be able to build the systems and processes that allow your business to function without you. In order to really be set up for success, you got to think about personal growth. That is something that was so important during this weekend. We talked so much about mindset, about personal growth, and how that leads into business success in real estate. Most importantly, you need to know your real why, okay? A lot of people say, oh, I'm doing this for my family. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe that's just too vague. What is the deeper reason? Oftentimes employees say, oh, I'm just doing this so I can get more time with my family. But then all they do is spend all their waking moments and hours trying to build a business and spending no time with their family, which are saying that's what their goal is. So have the right priorities. And by doing that, make sure you talk with your spouse. The right partner is your greatest asset. Your spouse is your greatest asset, but you need to have clear goals in alignment with your spouse. In fact, after I record this podcast, Stephanie and I are going to connect. We're going to talk about everything that we learned during this time, during this retreat. We're going to talk about the visions that we came up with. We're going to talk about our 3 and 5 year goals that we revisited and added to during this weekend in Punta Cana. And we're going to talk about our dream lives. We want to make sure that we are in constant alignment and traveling together and growing together. This leads me to my next point. You have to revisit your goals constantly. So many of us write our goals down on January 1st, and then we don't look at them again until the end of the year, perhaps. You need to revisit your goals constantly. If you're not tracking your goals, you're probably drifting away from them. Lastly, finding the right community is incredibly important. The Action Academy community is second to none. If you're interested in joining this community, if you're interested in going from corporate to cash flow, reach out to me and I'd love to talk to you more about my experience. If you're a military member, if you're active duty or a retiree or a veteran, the War Room Mastermind is absolutely incredible as well. And of course, if you're looking to buy your first or your next residential assisted living home, the Residential Assisted Living Room, the RAL Room Mastermind is perfect for you. But I encourage you, find that right community. Go all in on that community. Give it everything you have, because I promise you, your network will determine your net worth. Your relationships are most important. Human capital is the most important thing for your success. So in closing, this retreat was an absolute game changer. Few parting shots. Wealth is going to amplify who you are, so embrace it. Step into your hero's journey and don't wait until you feel ready. If you're feeling a call to step back in medicine right now, if you're feeling a call to go part-time or to quit your job, don't wait until you feel ready. If you're thinking you're not ready, you probably are. Take the leap of faith and step into your call for adventure. Step into your hero's journey. And do that by thinking like a CEO. Delegate, build systems, and scale. And then take some time to reverse engineer a dream life. Wealth building really is a math equation. Guys, I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that was a good summary of the weekend. If you're interested, I took a ton of notes during this retreat. I would be more than happy to share those with you. So don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to DM me on Instagram at Physicians and Properties, Action Academy, or notes, I will send those notes to you so you can check them out as well. So that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow physician investor, healthcare worker, or anyone that you think would benefit from this podcast episode. Until next time, let's keep building your legacy one property at a time. Let's get closer to practicing medicine and living life how we want. Take care. Hey, real quick, if you're still listening to this, I'm assuming you got value from it. So I need your help specifically. My 2-year vision with this podcast is to help 100,000 physicians learn how investing in real estate can give you the freedom to practice medicine and live life how you want. There are 2 main ways that a podcast grows. One is through ratings and reviews, and the other is word of mouth. If you can please leave me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as send this to 1 to 2 friends that you think would get value from it, we can reach the physicians that we want to reach. Thanks in advance, and talk to you on the next episode. Please note that the information shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only. It should not be considered financial or medical advice. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the host and the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense or the United States Air Force.